here today because, first of all, for those of you who haven't seen me cry, you get to. When I sat down to write this speech, I began to think about the many things that I've learned throughout my life, both at home and in school. I've learned numbers and letters in elementary school, and then I was, for some reason, supposed to color inside the lines when I colored. I learned my states and their capitals, the continents, the planets, and the elements on the periodic table. I spent months studying lists of spelling words for the spelling bees I entered, of which I won. And I have to admit that probably about 95% of those words that I studied, I still remember. For example, Staphylococci, S-T-A-P-H-Y-L-O-C-O-C-C-I. I mastered how to find the radius and circumference of a circle, and all the other math lingo you need to know to graduate. These things have all had their place in my education, but there's one thing that most people don't appreciate that they've learned, and that's the word no. This is one word that probably has more influence on my life than any other. For example, I heard from my parents, "No, Blake, because you are wearing Power Ranger underwear does not mean that you can jump off the roof of our house." And from Dana Michael, the secretary at the elementary school, "No, Blake, you may not call your mother to tell her that your teacher is the devil." Seemed like all I heard was no. Again from my parents, "No, Blake, you cannot buy that $400 golf club if you only have $6 in your piggy bank. You're going to have to save for a while." Being a 6-year-old, I began to think, gosh, what can I do? I decided that matches were a safe alternative. I lit 6 trash bags of leaves on fire in our garage. Apparently my younger years were filled of aspirations of being a firefighter, because I went and turned on the hose and put out the fire before it engulfed the garage. These are just a few of the instances where I can remember the word no being of great importance in my life. That word helped keep me safe from burning my arms off, and it kept me from doing or saying something that I may regret later in life. And it taught me that sometimes you can't always have what you want. Whew. All right, just needed a breath. So I have very strong memories of my need to be told no. Seniors, all of us here, certainly have memories. Just a second. Your memories may be a little bit more pleasant than mine. Maybe a little bit more pleasant nature, because they aren't filled with lighting things on fire. For some of us, it was a district championship in soccer, and basketball, and just yesterday, baseball. For some, it's the sweet memory of placing at state in our individual athletic events. For others, those memories might be of proms or Christmas dances. Wow, that was nice. For some band members, it might be all straight ones we earned throughout high school, or even the band trip to Disney, Chris, Austin, and Jordan. Alright, I'm done now, I swear. For me, one of the most important and life-altering memories that I've ever had came in the form of a story. A story from a speaker that I heard last summer at a citizenship camp that I attended. I'd like to share that story with you. Some of you may have heard it before, but I promise it's well worth hearing again. On the sandy beaches of the Gulf of Mexico, the daytime and beautiful sun bring in swarms of people, both for the warmth and comfort of the sun and the joy of spending time with their families. And then the sun goes down, and everyone packs up and leaves for home. They hope that there's going to be another beautiful day the next so they can spend their day at the beach. This story begins after the sun goes down, after all the crowds have gone, and all that is left is the crashing of the waves against the sand. At this time, a man walks up and down the length of the beach. He's homeless. dressed in black sweatpants with gaping holes near the knees. He has but a dime in his pocket, and no family or friends to help comfort him. And yet he walks that same beach every night. He walks down that beach every night, picking up starfish that have washed up on shore and dried out, unable to help themselves get back into the ocean. For hours on end, he picks up these starfish and slings them back into the ocean. Though his efforts seem futile, one by one, he throws back a few of the thousands of starfish that lay on the beach. On one particular night, there's another man walking the beach. Not a homeless man, but a wealthy business owner. And he's intrigued by the homeless man and watches him from afar throwing the starfish back into the ocean. After that night, the wealthy man comes and watches the homeless man throw the starfish into the ocean for the next week straight. The homeless man does the same routine every night, throwing the starfish back to their homes hundreds of times before soon becoming tired and going to wherever his home is that night. He watches him wondering what the man could possibly be doing, wondering why he's doing it or what good it's doing for him. Finally, he has the courage to go up and talk to him. He walks up to the homeless man and says, "Sir, can I ask you a question?" The homeless man replies, "Yes." Continues his monotonous work. The wealthy man asks, "Why are you throwing those starfish back in the ocean?" The homeless man replies, "Because they're happier there." And he continues his work. The wealthy man, surprised by the simplicity of this argument, pauses. After a brief moment, he begins to argue, "But sir, there are thousands of starfish here. You're never going to throw them all back. All of your efforts really don't make a difference." The homeless man picks up another starfish, throws it back into the ocean, and replies, "Yeah, I know, but I made a difference to that one." Stunned, the wealthy man stands without saying a word and watches the man throw another starfish into the ocean. After a short time, he leaves the beach, knowing that he had met one of the most selfless people that he would ever know. This lesson that we should all learn, one of selflessness, is represented in the story by a very, very needy person in our society. Having nothing for himself, he acts as if he has the world to give.